But the snow came up, so today it rained out, but rain or shine, we said the cookout's going. Thank the cooking crew out back, they did a great job. But I want to introduce Norfolk County Sheriff Jerome Jerry McDermott. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and the most important announcement is the food is on the way right now. I want to thank Sergeant for being here, finest PD in the land, and Officer J.D. Andrews is here with his canine, Baron. In a little while, you're going to see a demonstration by Officer Andrews and Baron on what we do, kind of a glimpse inside some of the work we do, both inside the House of Correction and a partnership we have with all of the 28 communities in Norfolk County. So as Joe Canavan mentioned, I've been on the job since December 22nd, so yesterday was my 7th month on the job. Who's counting? And some days I feel like it's my first day, and other days I feel like I've been there 10 years. It's a lot of important work that the sheriffs are charged with doing. It is an increasingly more complex role. So in the old days when you thought about the sheriff, right, most of us just think there's a jail, the bad guys get locked up, and they go serve their time in the jail, right? The corrections officers watch them and make sure they're doing their time for their crime. But the way things are today, we're almost like a medical unit. We're the largest detox in the county. We have a prison up between the interstate, north and southbound, on exit 17. All right, hold on, guys. Somebody down the back can't hear me, so we gotta have one at a time.
We're having trouble hearing back there.
I apologize, there's no microphone, so I'll try to project my voice. All right, so what you've got up there is a prison that was built for 302. All right, 302. Right now today we have just under 500 inmates. All right, so some of them are triple bunk, they're not too happy about it. But one thing that most of them have in common, not all, but 80% of the inmates have a dual diagnosis of mental illness and drug addiction. So if you hear the governor talking about the opioid crisis, right, how people are hooked on pills and then they're turning to heroin, that's what's driving all the theft. So if you leave your phone out and you go into the supermarket, you got a chance somebody's gonna smash your window, grab that phone to pay for their next fix of drugs. All right? The sergeant will tell you, most of your crimes, when you see people doing a breaking and entering to a home, a breaking and entering to a car, right? What's driving that? They're addicted to drugs and alcohol. They're not thinking straight. That's why they're committing these thefts. So then they get sentenced. At the county level, you're not going to do more than 2 years. And most people are going to do about 3 months and then they're out. Most of the people up in that jail are going to be out in 3 months. And guess what? They're coming back to your community and my community. So all of us have a job to do. While we have these men in our care and custody, and the women, but the women are sent to MCI Framingham. But while we have these inmates in our care and custody, we got to get at their hearts and minds and try to straighten them out, because we want to see recidivism rates get lowered. So we've got a lot of great people up at the House of Correction, both the medical staff, the behavioral health staff, the corrections officers. The role of the corrections officer is not just watching somebody who's been in prison now. They have an opportunity to try to turn these people's lives around. And we have programs, we have anger management classes, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous classes, we have culinary arts classes. Our job in a nutshell is to take these broken people, try to fix them, try to give them a skill so when they go back out, they're productive members of society and they don't commit crime again. And we couldn't do that partnership without our local police. It's very, very important. And also, one thing the sheriff's office does is we get out to the schools. Besides coming out here to seniors to talk to you about scam prevention and how to stay safe in your own home, we go out to the schools to try to tell the young people, don't go down the road of drugs and alcohol to begin with. If you keep making one bad choice after another, you could end up in here in prison. We take tour buses from every high school in the county, all 28 communities. We bring that tour bus up to the jail. A little bit of it is to scare the kids, but it's really educational. It's impactful when you get high school kids come out and they see somebody in prison that looks pretty young. We have guys that are 21, 22, 23 years old. And they're looking at a bunch of boys and girls in high school, and they can relate to each other. They understand that, you know, if I go down the wrong path, I'm gonna end up in prison. What I'd love to offer you guys, if you'd like to, is we could set this up with Joe Canavan, a tour with your director, Cheryl.
Sherry.
Sherry. I don't know, Sherry.
Sherry, go to jail.
We could set up a tour.
What,
You
you
guys-
wanna go to jail?
Yeah.
No, what did I do?
Well, if you all want to come up and take a tour, I'd love to have you. The food isn't as good as you're getting right now, but it's not bad, right? But you should come up to see and really get an idea of what we do on a day-to-day basis. There's a lot of programs, there's a lot more complexities than just locking people up and making them do the time for their crime. One important thing I want to touch on today for seniors, how many people in this room have got telephone scams or email scams to their house?
I have.
All right, so it's happening on a daily basis, and from the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, to the Governor's Office on Consumer Affairs, to the Attorney General Maura Healey, to the county sheriffs, to the police chiefs, everybody is involved in trying to educate folks and spread awareness. So I would just ask any of you, if you get a phone call and you feel in your gut something's wrong and it seems like a scam, call the local police department. You are not being a nuisance, you're acting as an early warning system. My mom's almost 93 years old. Her phone rings off the hook, it's like Grand Central Station. She gets more calls, people want to lower her credit card interest rate, they want to put solar panels on her roof. You know, people call, they say it's Publishers Clearinghouse and you won the lottery. Probably not going to happen. Sorry to say, we're probably not going to hit the lottery. But what happens with all these scams, in a way that you know it's a scam, is if somebody calls you up and they're trying to get your bank routing number, your checking account, or they're trying to tell you you've done something wrong, and there's a threat that you're going to go to jail if you don't pay up, immediately you should know that's a scam. And the latest scam that's been happening in Middlesex County and Norfolk County is people are calling up saying you failed to show up for jury duty. It's a $900 fine. If you don't pay the $900 fine today, we have 2 deputy sheriffs on the way to the house, and you're gonna get locked up, right? So you think, you know, I heard some laughing, you think we wouldn't fall for that. But when people hear that they could be arrested, all right? Or if the IRS calls and the IRS says, you failed to pay your taxes, you owe us money or else we can have you arrested, people get flustered, people get upset. And believe it or not, the scam artists are so sophisticated now, they can clone the phone numbers. So the phone number actually looks like it's legitimately coming from the IRS, or it legitimately is coming from the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office.
From
So
your
now-
next door neighbor,
Or from your
even.
next door
They
neighbor.
never could do that before. Now everything's 508. Where's this all this coming from?
That's the technology. They can have a 508 number and be calling from overseas. They could be calling you from Pakistan for all we know.
Right.
Right? But what do they all say? There's one thing in common. They say, you owe us the money and we need cleared funds. You know what cleared funds is? Like it's gotta be a cashier's check. Well, what they do now is even more sophisticated. You owe us the $900, go to the store, get Visa gift cards, and on the back of the gift card, scratch off, there's a series of numbers on the back. Once you tell the scam artist those numbers, you've just done almost like a bank wire transfer. That money's gone and you've got a worthless piece of plastic. That's all that's left, okay? Now you think people wouldn't fall for these scams, but the biggest one is the granny or granddad scam. And a woman in Quincy almost lost $4,000. The only thing that stopped it was an alert taxi cab driver who heard a call back where he just had a fare, and he said there's something wrong. They intervened, they got Quincy police involved. That woman was going to buy stacks and stacks of gift cards because she believed her daughter was in prison in Mexico, right? Now you wonder, how the heck could that happen to you? Does anyone here have nieces, nephews, grandkids, right? All right, I've got 2 daughters that are teenagers. They're 15 and 17. If you go on their Facebook account, social media, or Instagram, the kids will tell you their whole life story. You'll know the name of the dog, the cat, grandma, the last time they were at Nana's house, what they had to eat for lunch. Their whole life is on social media. So if I'm a scam artist and I'm overseas in maybe one of the old Soviet bloc countries, I can find out all this information about you, and then I get an accomplice that sounds like a young girl, about 15 to 17, and then we call you, because we can get your numbers right from the whitepages.com. And then we put that girl on the phone and says, Nana, I'm in trouble. You know, we were on vacation in Mexico, and Dad had an open container of beer on the beach, and the Mexican police arrested us all. And we're all in this jail. And by the way, I'm going to put you on the phone now to the chief, and the chief of police is going to give you instructions. Another accomplice gets on the phone and tells you, in no uncertain terms, that if you don't send the money, your loved ones aren't getting out of prison. It happens all the time across this country, and people fall for this scam. And that's what we don't want to see happen to you today, all right? So there's a lot of information when you leave this room. On the left, there's a lot of public safety information. You just got to be alert about the scams because it comes over the phone, it comes in the email, and it comes in the hard copy mail, all right? If somebody calls your house and you don't recognize the number, let it go to voicemail. If it's a legitimate organization, they're going to leave a name and a telephone number to call back. We just had one 2 days ago. A woman told me that her dad, over the phone, thought he was giving money to the State Police Benevolent Association. He read off his credit card numbers and the 3 little digit code, the private pin on the back. It was a scam. All right, so you've got to be super, super safe. Another safety tip we just want to talk about, and then I'm going to turn it over to our canine officer. We want you to be safe in your home, okay? My predecessor, former Sheriff Mike Bellotti, came out with this great program called Are You Okay? I don't know if any of you have signed up for this, but Are You Okay is just an added layer of protection. If your loved ones can't check on you all the time, if you don't have neighbors that can check on you, or you don't check on each other every day, this is a free phone call between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. It's a partnership between the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office and Fallon Ambulance Service. It costs you nothing. We call you between 6 and 10. You can pick 8 a.m. every day. You call and say, are you okay today? You say yes, everything's good, no problem. If we call you and you don't pick up, we're going to call you backup person. That could be anyone in the room, it could be a niece, nephew, grandson, granddaughter. We call your backup person and they say, no, my granddad should be there. He didn't have a dentist appointment, he didn't have a doctor's appointment. He should be home. We're going to call you back. If you don't pick up a second time, we're calling the police and we're doing a wellness check. In the 7 months I've been on the job, we've had 5 saves. We had a woman that was in her bathtub for almost 2 days. We had a woman who fell and broke her wrist and couldn't hit her life alert that she had. People have fallen and broken hips. So just 5 examples in 7 months of that added layer of protection. Because, you know, I'm one of 10. We bother my mother. We drive her crazy. She wishes we'd go away, right? But not everybody has people checking on them every day. So this program is just that added layer of protection. Your loved ones will love it because it's peace of mind for them. It costs you nothing. We have material on the table before you leave to sign up for the Are You Okay program. And you know what? We'll call anytime you want between 6 and 10. I was even thinking about doing it at nighttime, like calling you between 6 and 8. I ran that by my mother, who said, "You got to be crazy." Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. Nobody's gonna answer. So don't do it at nighttime. Just do it in the morning between 6 and 10. And then she said, "Don't call her in the Mass." She watches the Mass at a certain time. But I don't know if any of you have any questions about some of the programs. We've got the Yellow Dot program, the Files for Life. Joe Cannon's got a whole table of information out there, but I'll just tell you real quick, Files for Life and Yellow Dot, how that works. I don't know if any of you have allergies, or you're on medication, or you might have an implant. If you put all your medical information in this little folder, Files for Life, it's got a magnet. Put it on the refrigerator. God forbid 911 is called out to your house. The fire department, everyone, they're trained, EMS, they look for the Files for Life. If they see that, they know how to give you better care. Because you may have some allergies, you may be on certain medicine, they'll know that information immediately. That same File for Life, tucked inside your car, in your glove box, if you have a yellow dot on the back of your windshield, again, God forbid you're in an automobile accident, first responders know to look, and they look in the glove box for all that pertinent information so that they can give you, they can render you better medical assistance. So the reason to get you out here with all this good food is to make sure we can give you all this information about scam prevention, about ways to stay safe in your home, and really the best one out of them all, if I could sign you up for the Are You Okay program, it would be great. You know, people people really have been saved by it, and I think you'd find it not to be a hassle. It's actually almost like an automated call. Are you okay? Press 1. If not, press 2. Do you need medical assistance? That kind of thing. So listen, without further ado, I see that our K9 officer is ready to come up and tell you a little glimpse inside some of the important work we do both inside the House of Correction and with our partner agencies from the federal level all the way to the local police. So I'm going to let Officer J. DeAngelis take it away. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Red. Hey guys, so this is Baron. Baron does narcotics. He's a single-purpose dog. We have 6 dogs up at the House of Correction. 2 of them are patrol. Those dogs, they will bite. They also do tracking. We have missing people. They'll track, and they also do ballistics, which is firearms and ammunition. So those are 2 of the dogs. The other 4 dogs strictly just for narcotics, and they're passive, so they're friendly. We do people searches with them, and they're good. 1 dog was bought from a place in New York. The other 3 dogs are rescues. So Baron's a rescue from Tennessee. I got him like 3.5, almost 4 years now. So he came from Tennessee. So one day he was either turned over or he's running around the streets, and then all of a sudden he came up to Massachusetts. The trainers looked him over, said he was good enough to at least try to get him to be a canine dog. So with 16 weeks of training, we made it through. But as everyone knows here, when we have pets, we put a bowl down, right, to feed them. Well, our dogs are food reward. So the only time Baron eats is when he finds drugs. So even at home, vacation, whatever it may be, I have to put drugs out. He has to find it to be fed. So yeah, so the only time he'll eat out of a bowl is he was in the hospital a little while back, or if I'm away, and then the people just put a bowl down. But normally, so he eats out of my hand every day. So we train on roughly 28 different drugs for Baron to find. Does pretty good most days, like all of us. Sometimes we have a bad day, but for the most part, he does very well. So I have 4 kids. He's great with kids. He loves people, and he loves food. As you can see, he's getting the scent. So yeah, so 16 weeks of training. Now we're up at our main job is at the jail, and we have inmates coming off of the vans. So they're coming from court. So just a little history. Things have changed through the years. Like the sheriff was saying, years ago we had the regular crimes, drunk driving. Now we're getting into a lot of drug addiction. And with drug addiction, it's becoming a lot of different issues. One of them is people are coming in to the jails with drugs. So Suboxone. Suboxone is prescribed from the doctors for these people to come off of the opiates. They're getting them. They're coming into the jail knowing they're coming in. So if you had bail, right, and I gave you $500 for your bail, I would go to the court and say, I'm revoking her bail. So you'd go to the court on a Tuesday and say, oh, my brother took my bail away. And they're like, yeah, we got your name. We have a warrant for you. They put you in a cell. The vans would pick her up, bring her to the jail. Right? It's all mail, but so you come to the jail. That person would ingest a good amount of drugs, say $300 worth of drugs. They come into the jail. After a while, they pass it, and then they start selling it. We watch their accounts. They come in with zero money, and they're leaving with $2,000 or $3,000. They leave a month and a half later, and they have that amount of money in their account. So, and they're giving these guys the drugs. Now, Suboxone, it's a good thing because they don't overdose. Suboxone has some stuff in it like a Narcan. Narcan reverses it, right? So they're getting their high, but they're not overdosing from it, which is good for everyone, right? A lot of people who are addicted are children, brothers, sisters, whoever it may be. Unfortunately, that's what's going on out there. But the amount of money that's being brought in, and then when we start getting fentanyl and those type of things there, then we're in trouble.
That's when people start overdosing. We have Narcan up there. We've saved many people. They come in from court. So when the vans come in from court, the inmates step out. Baron and I and the other dogs, whoever's on that day, we search the inmates. We have found it on them, and they've ingested it, or they tuck it, and sometimes the dogs will get the scent. Very tough when it's in their body to be getting the scent. But however, sometimes they do get a scent from people in the rear area. That's normally how they're bringing it in now. So we do get it. We have a machine. We have a machine that kind of looks through the body, so we can pick it up. It's an older machine. We actually need a newer one, but we do find it that way there too. People who train, you can see inside their body that they have things that don't belong in there. Sometimes there's gases or there's organs or whatever, but people are trained to see certain things if someone swallows something. So sometimes we find it that way there too. So, like the sheriff was saying, so all of Massachusetts, we can go anywhere. We're all the canine dogs. We train with probably over 100 dogs from up this way here, all the way from down the Cape. So everyone knows the story about Sean Gannon. Sean Gannon was in our training group. So we go anywhere. So if we get called out, Norfolk calls us today. We can have 8 dogs from all over, pretty much from down the Cape all the way up this way here to do a search, which we have. Baron's found 1.5 kilos of fentanyl and all other types of drugs. So he does pretty well. All the dogs do pretty well. Training group's good. Some dogs do toy reward. So but majority of the dogs do food. So I just put a box out, but I don't know if most people are going to be able to see up here. It's probably tough, but.
Want me to hold it?
Yeah, you mind just keeping it to your side. Just keeping it to your side. There you go. So that's the boxing in there. So hopefully Baron will hit on this. So this is the working collar. So when we start, we put the working collar on. Baron knows it's time to start working. Give him a little bit of food to start him off, and then we'll search. So the dog's noses are so strong. So we come in today, we smell hamburgers and hot dogs, right? Or you come in, you smell stew. Oh, mom's making stew or meatballs or whatever. Dogs will pick up on every single scent that's in there, from the spices to the meats to the potatoes, whatever's being cooked. That dog smells everything. So sometimes when we first do a search, we'll go around, let him get the smells out. He'll smell other people's animals, whatever it may be, and then he'll start working it out, knowing what he has to find. So we'll start out right now. We'll just come around. We'll just let him smell some people.
And if anyone has any drugs, the sergeant has already said he will not arrest you today.
Sergeant will give him a pass.
You got a prescription.
So he's very methodical when he searches. He's slow, and so sometimes we'll give the dog hand directions after we come along. We do cars, we do the creases from the outside. We'll do the creases of the doors where odors will come out. That's how strong the dogs are. Their noses are. So the creases of those doors from the outside, the dog will give me an indication that he has a scent. He's getting all different types of scents. Yep. He'll go around, then we'll start giving hand directions. When we give hand directions, that's when he'll start getting into a
I got treats in my pocket.
you got treats?
I have a dog, so I
yeah.
have treats in the pocket. So he may smell that.
He'll smell food, but you'll know when he smells drugs.
See signal.
Nope, he's not getting it.
It's not doing well today.
No.
It's an off day.
Yeah, no,
All the hot dogs and hamburgers.
he's probably not smelling because the box isn't down low, but he still should be able to get it. Darren won't get fed today if he doesn't find it, so. But he's definitely searching, but he's not getting it.
Are you sure somebody didn't take it out of the water?
No, it's in there. It's in the box. It got moved, but he still should be able to smell. No, he's not getting it. You can put it down, we'll see here. But he should have got it from up there. Put it down on the ground.
Yeah, we're gonna get drugs on
He likes that cabinet over there.
Yeah, see, that's what he'll do, but so he'll sit and he'll let me know, but he should have got it from her holding that.
Yeah, he's sure something's there.
Oh, he knows it's there, but he should have still got it from her holding it. We've found stuff in sailings where the dog will circle around and you'll know it's in that area. So we found stuff that way there. So today he didn't. He got, huh? So he'll get a little feeding, but not much, for not doing well. Yeah. He'll survive. He does pretty well for eating. But so, like I said, a bad day. Yesterday he ate late, and that's the thing about. Unfortunately, the dogs have to be on a strict diet because of if we're full, someone asks us to do something we don't want to do. We can be lazy about it. So he ate later yesterday, so he might not be fully hungry, and that's why he's kind of like. Now he's all sad. He's all sad because he only got one mouthful, but yeah. Well, he wants to play. Anyone have any questions?
Did you mention, I was just gonna say, did you mention, what happens, like who the dogs live with, the canines?
Oh, I didn't. So yeah, so we take them home. They live with us, and whoever's in the house. I have 4 kids. I have a cat. I mean, so he lives at home. Gets along great with everyone. Everyone's dog is at home. The sheriff's office put kennels in for us, so there's outside kennels with dog houses. We have a great maintenance department who made some nice dog houses, and we all put the cages in at the houses. So he's at home with us.
Are these drugs, in like a medicine bottle, or are they?
No,
just
it's so this is Suboxone, and the Suboxone has like the Narcan in it. It's just a small little strip. And this is the thing. So when there's large amounts of drugs like heroin, cocaine, the dogs are really good on it. On this here though, we're trying to really get the dogs on the Suboxone because that's our problem at the jail. So the stuff out in the street, the dogs are all over. They're very good on it. My dog also does marijuana. So the other day we went in, we found marijuana at a house. We were in Randolph. The guy's making it on a lot of stuff on his own. So the problem with that is that we all know when someone makes stuff on their own. Now I'm totally against marijuana being legal. I know some people here might think it's good or whatever. Medically, I guess it's a good thing, but it's out of control with kids. So little kids are going to their friend's house, or they're going into their siblings, an older sibling's bedroom, and they're seeing candy, right? Gummy bears, and they're taking that and they're eating it and they're ingesting it and they're overdosing, right? Some are dying because the way it's being made. If I'm making it and I get a batch and I'm putting the stuff in there, used to be like back in the day with the blotter acid. They tell you how they'd make it, right? They dip it in the acid and they put it on clothespins on lines, and all the heavy part of the drugs would seep down to the bottom, right? Gravity would bring it down. I'd get 2 tabs at the top, take it, I'd trip, right? I'd be okay. Someone else might get 2, and they're from the bottom batch. they'd overdose, they'd have a bad trip and maybe never come out of it again. It's the same thing with the marijuana. So it's becoming very dangerous with the drugs that are out there. So when I go out and talk to the kids, I tell the kids the only time they're eating candy is from their parents when they're giving it to them, or they go to a store and it's packaged. Because the days of seeing some candy on a table might not be candy. So it's getting dangerous out there as far as the drugs. But the Suboxone is our main thing at the jail, like I said. So that's what we're really training our dogs on. They know the odors of heroin, cocaine, ecstasy, all that stuff there. They do very well on that. That has a strong smell. Suboxone is very tough to find for the dogs. We go into cells. Sometimes it's there and they're not really getting. They hit on it, but not all the time. So it's very frustrating that the stuff that's coming in there, and the dogs really they have that. They know the odor, but it's just not a strong odor like the heroin, cocaine, all the stuff that's out there. So anytime I do anything, it's strictly with the Suboxone because I'm trying to get the dog to really be proficient in it, and it's sometimes it's tough with it. So, but anyway, anyone else have any questions?
2 hours.